So you were petting a fish?
No, it was in his mouth and he was sucking on my finger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Ow! Ow! You're trying to tear my finger?
Did you put money in the pond after?
I should have. Yeah, I should have. Bing! Right off his
Leave
forehead.
it on like the little fish
I did
dresser.
pet his forehead. Or her, their forehead.
I'm not sure that's relevant. I'm not sure the gender of the fish is like the important part of what's happening.
On video, you see the fish got pissed.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Are you kidding?
No,
What do you
serious?
Play that out from the other, like from the fish's perspective at like 5 o'clock, dude. All this shit is wrapping up. You know what I mean? Fish goes home to its fish spouse.
Yeah.
And the fish spouse is like, oh, you know, how's work? Doing bleach. You know, like,
Welcome to KAWmedy Krow Podcast, where we put the Ka in comedy.
Welcome to KAWmedy Krow Podcast. I think it's episode 31 with Jonathan Fraser as our guest. Welcome to the studio.
hey, thanks for having me.
I'm your host, Christopher Keith Tyler, and the wonderful, beautiful love of my life, Amy Quirk, is in. She's got her horns, and she's having a good old time with her new getup. We're
It's
trying.
my new double chin.
Yeah, we're. It's like it's a lot of chins. You have
Thank you.
so many chins.
I do.
The most chins.
And then we have KAWmedy Krow here. What's going on, everybody? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know there were going to be multiple guests.
Yeah, we have so much going on. Yeah, KAWmedy Krow Junior's over your shoulder back there. He's
Okay.
just chilling. And yeah, Jonathan, I have to say, first off, it is a pleasure to have you on this podcast. We've known each other since, do you remember what year we met?
I don't remember the year, although I could actually use that info. I don't have a lot of stuff from that like run through comedy.
Okay.
So any piece of new information, it's like doing archaeology on my own life. Like I have no no actual. Yeah, I
I've
don't
never heard
remember.
of doing archaeology on your own life. I
Yeah.
love that description.
Yeah, give me. I mean, you know, we're just finding new layers.
Okay.
When did we meet? Do you remember?
We met in I started doing stand up in 2009, and then I met you in 2010 at the Edge Lounge in Old
Yes.
Town, Temecula.
The Edge.
Rocky Osborne was the host,
Mhm.
and yeah, you and I, like, I was always I was always amazed by your work and seriously. And then
No, it's very nice.
it was the first competition I ever was in. I came in second place, and you won first.
Hey, I
Yeah.
think I remember that. I think
Yeah.
I remember I took the money from that competition.
Uh-huh.
Let's see, because that would have been what, after 2012, probably.
No,
No,
before 2011.
the competition was still in 2011.
You know what? I could dig it up. I'll
Take a look. I
in
remember
post.
winning.
I'll put it up and I'll show the date. But I think it's 2011 or 2012.
Okay.
You might be right.
I think so, because I
Yeah.
want to say I took the winnings from that competition because my daughter had literally like just been born, so I spent my first winnings on like diapers.
Oh, that's
It was
cool.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
I think I got
Y'all gonna be wearing gold-plated diapers.
yeah.
Which is SNL reference.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Christopher. Weird, right? Because I was a walk-in.
Christopher Walken.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, there we
Anyways,
go. No, I remember those days really, really fondly. Actually,
oh,
that was a good time.
yeah. Rocky Osborne would always wear his Batman shirts.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't seen Rocky in a long time.
No. When did you first start doing stand up?
I think it would have been around then, not too much before that, I don't think. I'd have to look up, I'd have to see when my last band kind of like split.
Mm-hmm.
It was within a year of that. So I don't think it was like too much before you. I think I was maybe in my first or second year.
You said band?
Yeah, I used to play music.
Oh.
Yeah.
I used to. What did you play?
I played bass guitar for a while.
Nice.
Yeah, played in a couple of bands and really enjoyed it. Really had a lot of fun with it. And was super lucky that like everybody that I played with were insanely talented. Like I was in one band with like one guy with like perfect pitch and time, like two different people with like their degree, like literally their degrees in music, and then me who'd like never played an instrument before in my life.
And they're like, "Hey, welcome."
Well,
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. It was like really jumping into the deep end type experience. They were about to go leave to do this like little mini tour up the West Coast, and their bass player like left. He had something else that they were going to do, and I had been friends with everybody in the band for a super long time, and so they just asked, like, "Hey, this is kind of weird, but do you want to like learn bass / learn these songs / come out on the road with us?" And I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Why not? Let's go. And then I eventually got good enough at the bass that I could play like functionally in other bands. But I did that for a while and really loved that. Loved the bands that I was in. But the other members of these acts like wound up having some other things, like they could go pursue some other projects. And it was the first time in a super long time that I didn't have any like collaborative projects to do. So I was like truly just like looking around like, okay, what am I going to do next? And I'd always loved comedy. I didn't always love stand-up, but I always loved comedy. I always loved making people laugh. And saw that there was an open mic in Temecula at the Edge.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, we're doing this. And I went and did it once and loved it. Absolutely loved it. And then I was like, oh my God, this is the thing.
So you wrote jokes specifically for the open mic?
I did. Yeah. I wrote, I sat and wrote for, oh gosh, not long. Like a couple hours, maybe something like that. I didn't have like a bunch of jokes like ready to go by any like stretch of the imagination. But I had like these little scraps of things and I was like, okay, let me just go see what this is like. And the second I got the mic out of the stand, I was like, oh, okay. Like
it felt
close
natural.
the base case, snap
Oh, dang.
under the bed.
Is it still under the bed?
That's jokes. No, I don't actually own a musical instrument anymore. I wound up getting rid of that bass. Although if I had to go get a bass again, I would get that same bass. I loved playing that thing. But yeah, the second I started writing jokes, I was like, oh no, this is like the thing. This is so much easier for me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No, it was, you always, oh my God. Yeah. You were just you had like that
Natural
when
talent.
back then Zach Galifianakis was like was peaking, I swear, at like the pink
His piano
pink
gigs?
elephant or whatever, up in San Francisco. It
Oh,
was
that
like
Netflix special, Live at the Purple Onion.
Purple Onion.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah. And when I saw you and I was like, oh, it was very just jazz, like just cool. You know what I mean? Like you would just you had this thing about like there was always that musical like a piano mic stand. And you would
have like a boom arm or something.
Yeah, and you would spend all this time just breaking it down, and then you would just walk off stage and like just leave everybody. Everyone's like waiting for the closing bit, but that was it.
That's
and
it.
Like and it was awesome. It was so like
Thank you.
kind of rock star, just edgy.
Patience, the patience and owning any
it's-
like something like that. That's
Yeah,
badass.
and just
Thank you. That's
yeah,
very nice.
you've always had like a very calm and like very classy or just cool. Like
thank you very much,
Yeah,
man.
sorry.
Well, I always liked the idea of the straight man in comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Leslie Nielsen to me is like one of the funniest people alive. Jerry Seinfeld in Seinfeld as
Oh my
like
God.
the straight man who like, even though he's the comedian,
Mm-hmm.
he's the one who's playing it straight all the time,
Right.
while like hilarity ensues around him.
Yeah.
And that was always appealing to me.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of just like chaos all around. Like even now with, you in a ski mask, Amy dressed like Batman here, I'm still like, I would still very politely ask you if I could like use your restroom.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, yeah.
just like play it straight down the middle,
Yeah.
because that to me is like funny.
Yeah. I would be the Kramer if I was on Seinfeld. That energy. I was always the
Yeah.
crazy. I've always been that just I
The
don't know.
physicality, huh?
Yeah, just very high energy. I was
Animated.
always animated. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now after the Edge, we went like. Did you perform at Aces?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at
I
Aces.
don't think I ever crossed paths with you at Ace, like performed on the same shows.
Yeah, well, I think Rocky probably had us in like a rotation or something like that. But yeah, I was at Aces monthly-ish. So I would be like there at Pachanga and like down at the Madhouse or something.
Right.
And then whatever else I could fit in. At the time.
Yeah. No, it was what was it? After Aces and then Pachanga, dude, like Leonard Holloway and like I shout out to Leonard. Like those were wonderful times. I miss those times. Yeah, Pachanga moved their comedy club from the basement up into above Kelsey's, and I've heard only not the best things about it. Like people are frustrated. They miss that.
No.
There's something about like having a comedy club in like a low ceiling or like, you know, in the basement and like
It's very
that.
intimate.
Yeah.
You know, it's very close quarters, I think. Even like, I mean, if you had higher ceilings and the same amount of space as far as like square footage, it's quite different.
Yeah. There was have you done Back to the Grind or the shows by the Buddy System in Riverside at the coffee place called Back to the Grind?
No, I haven't done that one yet. I think I've seen it on my IG.
You should check it out. Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that this week. I'll go check. It's on Thursdays, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go do that.
It's got it's in a basement and there's like a low ceiling and there's just like this nice there's something about like comedy and like secrets and like, you know, just being confined.
Yeah.
There's something where people, if it's real spread out, I love psychology of comedy. And like I notice with like audience members, like the bigger the ceiling or the more spread out they are, they feel like you're talking too directly to them. But if they're packed,
yeah, when you start mixing
together,
their auras together, like then they kind of become like
one.
like a Lego piece. You start becoming, you know what I mean? Like they start snapping together. They start doing the same thing.
Yeah, I saw like arena comedy is insane to me. Like I just can't imagine what it's like developing material for a space that big and how you have to like change your physicality, your delivery, as opposed to doing like a smaller room like that. You know what I mean? And like those smaller spaces, I think a lot of it, like the room itself just soaks up the laughs. Like the idea of laughs like bouncing off of the walls all over the place is like terrifying to me. But you know, but if it's just like in like this one little
tiny box,
like brick,
it's got to be overwhelming. I mean, like when you feel that applause or that laughter resonating, I can only imagine that like like holy shit. That's a lot of power.
Yeah. It feels good. The arenas, I've noticed, I've heard from comics who start doing like theaters and bigger venues like that. They say like it's very difficult to try to go outside or outside your set. Like it needs to be tight. And also, I'm sure the timing, because the echo, if it's in an arena, like you have to probably spread out your jokes format because you have to wait for the
and
wave
of course,
of applause.
That's, you know, according to how, you know, the individual, the comedian would deliver, and then they would have to adjust personally on their level what is best for them in that scenario. Yeah. So, now, it's complicated, I think.
Speaking of big events, you're going to be in the Comedy Fest.
I am.
Yeah, 2025.
I can't wait.
June 21st.
My first Comedy Fest.
Yeah, competing against Shadi Matar, and then there's two more in the pipeline. We don't know who they are yet, but there's two more people that are going to qualify to be in the festival.
And who are those people,
We don't know. Yeah, they're to be announced. We have no idea.
To be determined.
Yeah, to be determined.
More shadowy figures. Speaking of shadowy figures, really quick, I realized how many minutes into this are we?
13.
We're 13 minutes in. Should we maybe explain the masks?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, the are you feeling uncomfortable? You feel like I'm going to rob you?
I mean, believe me, the joke would be on you. But, but I mean, you know, just for the viewer, the casual viewer coming in.
What's going on, Chris?
This is, like, hey.
Yeah.
Or unless are we trying to just play it cool?
Yeah, I like the lore.
Not anymore.
Yeah, I like.
Oh shoot! Yeah, you're right.
Now we.
I know. I just like being the straight man. I like keeping it casual.
Yeah.
Also, very much explain what's happening so people don't think I'm a hostage.
I just feel like no one can see me right now, which is exactly what I want.
Oh man, I see you. I'm right here. Chris, what's going on? What is happening in this?
So last
Maybe it's
episode
invisible.
with Nathan Salazzo, yeah. I almost said Nathan Hurd. My bad. Amy was wearing this ski mask, and it was a little itchy. We're in like
Say the
I don't
least.
know if anybody who follows comedy entertainment can go back and see there is a lore. There's like I love to watch the evolution of a show, and like this is part of it. So right now we're in this little in between where I just have a straight up ski mask on, and Amy's got the horns. But there's more to come. It's going to keep transitioning. We have a long pipeline of not just shows, but big plans. It's always planned. The waves, the trains of thought are always coming in, and yeah, this is just the beginning, dude. Like it's gonna be a lot of fun.
It's like when they brought Tori in on Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
I got it. Now I'm on board.
Did they bring Tori Spelling in? I don't remember that.
No, I can't remember the actor's name that played Tori, but Tori came in. She wore like a leather jacket.
Oh, totally remember her. Yeah, that's
super
right.
cool.
Oh yeah.
Was she the one that was like doing heroin, and then they had an intervention?
It might have been
episode
just
on
marijuana though.
No, remember there was an episode where she was on, and they were
I don't know
all.
if Saved by the Bell ever went like straight.
There was
H.
one. There was one.
She was doing heroin.
Yeah, and they were like trying to break her. She had the curly haired girl.
Oh, that's Jessie.
Oh, that's Jessie.
That's
no,
Jessie.
she
No,
was
she was
trying
hooked
to
on
stay
caffeine pills.
Yeah, she was trying to study for her like SATs or something or finals.
See,
And yeah, she got
I know,
addicted
not
to
even
him.
having any fun.
I'm so excited.
Iconic.
Yeah.
Same.
Also, that's like a copyright
Yeah.
strike, like waiting to
Oh,
happen.
shit.
That's this whole podcast.
But I sang
No,
it.
this is
huh?
that real
Yeah.
like subvertive underground shit, dude.
I'll go.
Yeah.
Yeah, in editing, I'll change it. Like it won't even make any sense.
Oh, never mind. I'm not gonna say it.
So let's move into first off, Comedy Fest. You can get your tickets on
Yes.
Eventbrite for $20.
Get them now.
$20
yeah,
all day, man.
3 to 9 p.m. Jay Light will be headlining with his crew from Wrong, a Fucked Up Game Show. And then we have David Rosenberg, Bobby Ulrich, Kat Alvarado, and many more
The top
with
of the
School
top.
Rock and food and fun and beer and our Amy and I have
Benji
been
Phonic. Don't forget Benji Phonic.
Benji Phonic 3 years in a row with School Rock.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Check us out. Go to eventbrite.com or you can buy the tickets on our link in our social media. Anyways, let's move into our segment. We have a new segment. We've got so much new stuff.
This is, oh my gosh.
So much new
It's like
stuff.
a whole new show.
Yeah, this is the new segment called Crows on Camera. Crows on Camera. I'm going to add a bunch of photography sounds right now.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to see if this actually worked. We're going to get Crows on Camera is where we're going to watch John's. We're all going to see what we're watching here. So this Amy and I were going through a car wash, and we were about to get out of the car wash when all of a sudden we noticed that there was a crow in the way. It's not loading up. Let's see. Come on, baby. There we go. So yeah, there's a crow, and he was playing with a Ruffles bag.
Okay.
And it got
Specifically Ruffles.
yeah, and we were
Dude
you know,
knew what he was
Are they
doing.
sponsoring the podcast?
No.
yeah.
That's
So
okay, we're good.
I was getting my feathers were getting ruffled because this crow. But it was getting really tense. We were like, "Get out of the way, crow!"
Yeah, it
but
got
we were
intense.
on a track,
God.
so we
Yeah.
could not.
We're like, yeah, we couldn't move.
right.
We're like, no, dude, no.
Yeah.
No.
We don't know if
Where'd it-
we don't know if the crow is dying or not. We were so freaked, and then like there's.
I
this
don't
head.
even know if that's the same one, dude.
It's totally the same
I don't
one.
even know if that's the same one,
We're
dude.
still, and we're still.
Oh, I'm trying to eat my ruffles. Oh.
Aren't crows supposed to be like hyper intelligent?
Yeah, they are. Well, there's ravens are the really intelligent ones.
Oh, not so much
Yeah.
crows though.
But they are. No,
They
they
are.
are. They know.
But the
They
raven,
know.
They know.
When we go for a walk, because I put peanuts on our balcony.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Oh, is that not allowed?
I don't even know.
Is that in the paperwork?
I
Is
have-
that in the lease?
yeah, no,
You can't put any
No peanuts
legumes
allowed.
you
on the
can't talk
balcony.
about
Yeah.
it too
Crows.
loud because the crows will show up. Like, oh, you were saying? Like,
We
But we
heard you guys
noticed.
did peanuts here.
I know. I noticed. Like, I was like, "Oh, Chris, we were downstairs. We're on the 4th floor, so we were downstairs. I'm like, I see peanut shells right here. It's got to be from our building."
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, so they know that we feed them, and when we go for walks, especially recently, like the crows will fly on the fence and just stay there.
waiting for
Like
us.
waiting.
Yeah. Yeah, they know us.
Yeah, they know.
Yeah, they know us. They
They're
follow
smart.
us. I swear when I'm driving, they recognize my car. Like I'll pull up at like Smart and Final, and crows will be like, Peanut? Like,
Just like, what
Waiting.
gives, dude? I heard
yeah, I heard.
Glenn
Yeah.
back at the spot told me you were the guy. Okay, but wait a minute. So, hold on. We don't want to be the face of comedy entertainment. Totally understood. But you have the masks on. You're feeding all these crows. Y'all are becoming like known members of the crow community.
That's correct.
It feels
Yeah.
like it.
We want to.
So you're okay being the face of the crow community. Are you?
I should be
Are
wearing
you-
I should be wearing the ski
We're
mask
no
when we go
longer
for a
human.
walk.
I was gonna.
I should be wearing a ski mask when we go for a walk.
They'll recognize your eyes. It's fine.
Yeah, I'll start just dressing as a peanut. That'll be on the next episode.
There you
I'll just
go.
have a full on peanut.
Full
but I need-
Mr. Planner's peanut.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
The monocle.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Which
Oh,
is
No, we got to
have-
do like a working class version of Mr. Peanut.
Oh, blue collar
Yeah.
that'd be interesting. He's like
on a
jacked.
cell phone.
He's like, he's
or
got
like super fat.
he's got a lifted truck.
Puffy shoes. Always says bra.
Yeah. Now, do you have? You said your inspirations for comedy, Jerry Seinfeld. Do you have any like current? Like, do you follow any current comedians that you enjoy? Famous ones, I guess.
Not like he's nobody's. No. Yeah, I mean, sure. I don't keep up with a lot of comedy just because I try to write a lot of it and I want that to stay as much me as I can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's really easy to let other ideas in and be shaped by that. But I do, I mean, like everybody else, I think I like Bill Burr a lot. I've always liked him. I think Anthony Jeselnik is one of the funniest people out.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. There's comedy everywhere, you know.
Yeah. Where,
That's what Jerry says. Comedy
That's
is
right.
everywhere.
Comedy's
Yeah.
everywhere.
Uh-huh.
everything's funny.
Everything can
Everything's
be funny.
Yeah, that's right. When you find that when you write comedy, are you one of those where it'll come to you when you're driving, or like, for example, like for me, usually it's when I'm at like a live show, I'll be watching, or if I'm driving and I'm listening to comedy, I'm like, for some reason, like as I'm listening to somebody do stand up, it reminds me of like a memory or something in me where I'm like, and it's not even related to anything that they're talking about, but it just gets my
Spark
comedy
something for you.
brain going. Right. How does it work with you? Like, do you sit down and you,
A little bit of both, right?
Yeah.
I mean, nobody can. I don't think anybody can take credit for like how an idea happens, right?
Yeah.
Ideas just happen to us, no matter what, at whatever time we let them.
Mhm.
And so yeah, like I'll get ideas while I'm driving or washing dishes or whatever, on stage talking about something else.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like actual writing process, like, yeah, I'll sit and put everything away, put my phone away, make sure, TV's off, all that stuff. And just write or stare at an idea, take one of those ideas. I'll try to like log as much of that stuff as I can as just like ideas coming in.
right.
And then, you pick them and you just let yourself sit with it for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And most of the time, what I had originally set out to write was like, kind of like you're talking about, where it's like, that's just like the jumping off point for whatever the bit is like actually gonna be. And then I'll like find myself going, oh, wait a minute. I've like veered off path down this other like rabbit hole. Let me jump back up to the top and like try running at this other idea again.
Yeah.
It's a little scatterbrain, but that's what works for me.
Right. No, I ask because I've always felt like I'm like this, and you're very that. Yeah, but you're the
on.
straight. Yeah. As
so so sweet. Thank you.
I've always admired like you as one of those like a wordsmith, in my opinion, or is that like a poet of comedy. Like, you're very well thought, and you go up there with the direction, and it's just very, and like you like the and I'm not telling you how you are, or I'm not going to speak for you, but when I watch you perform, I'm amazed by how well you can sit in the pocket and just like let it cook, and the audience is like, you know, and like, because in a lot of performers, like at open mics, you know, you're like hoping for that, the laughter's all, you know, and like you have that's the thing about being cool. Like you're a cool comic. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, did you just call me cool? Yeah, well, I mean, I think, excuse me, 1 second.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I mean, I think that just comes with, just performing in general, right? And, you know, in some way, shape, or form, like acting like you've been there before a little bit, right?
Right.
Like you don't hear, like one of my favorite quotes about comedy, I don't remember who to attribute it to, but it's like, well, these days it might change. When you get on a plane, right? The pilot doesn't get up and go, all right, well, I'm going to try and get this thing in the air, but I don't know. He just tells you what's going to happen.
Right.
And then you go.
Right.
And I look at like doing stand-up kind of the same way, where it's like, nope, we're just going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, wouldn't you say, my apologies, but wouldn't you say that like you have a sense of security with yourself? I think a lot of, and I can speak for myself, fear plays a lot of factor in, even if you take a leap and to go on stage for 5 minutes, 3 minutes to perform, and you know, like it's like terrifying. Some people, it takes them a while to like get over that. What would you, I mean, would you say that like that, have you ever had those moments? Would you say that plays a factor, or your security and your self-worth and your, you know, everything that you feel about yourself allows you to perform flawlessly?
Oh my gosh, definitely not flawlessly. Let's get that word as far away from my stand-up as humanly possible. No, it's just like, it's not clinging to the performance while it's happening, because what that fear is, right, is like you're just trying to hold on to something that like isn't real. Like you're afraid of something that hasn't happened yet because you're not telling any jokes.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? You haven't done it before or whatever. So I think, you know, I haven't really given this a lot. I'm literally just thinking about this right now, but I think it comes from a place of like, okay, well, these moments are just going to like flow and be gone. So don't hold on to them. Don't be attached to them, and enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know? And then, you know, do like 2 minutes about farts or whatever.
Well, you've always had that. That's the thing, is like from the moment you first started doing stand-up at the Edge till now, it's always been like you are a professional. I'm wondering if it has anything about having the heart of a bass player. The bass player is always the cool one in the band.
The chill,
the
the
let bass
vibe.
players find out you said that. No, I mean, like, yeah, I think a background in like performing definitely helps. Like if you've ever performed before and you can just like get over, you know, like the idea of like stage fright or whatever.
I played the trumpet, and I
Did you
had
really?
to deal with the spit valve. I hated
Yeah.
the spit valve.
It's disgusting.
So if you look at it like a trumpet player like me, and then I'm just a mess. But you're a bass player, so you're cool.
Well, I mean,
You gotta
look,
carry.
but you,
Yeah.
I mean, but don't you think though that like, do you find that your familiarity with like rhythm and timing, because you do have very good comedic timing. Like you were funny.
Oh, thank you.
You have like the ability. I've seen you really quick as like an aside. The mics that you run are so like these are like the best mics to get up at that I like ever like. Usually, it's like you'll go to a spot and they have like, you know, it's a PA that used to be like an AM/FM radio. And like the mic stand doesn't stay up.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's no lighting.
Yeah.
If anything, there's like a candle in like another room.
Yeah, in
You know?
another room. Yeah.
Like these, you know. But you run like the way that you run your mics, you really have a love for the
Production.
comics. I was going to say the comics, but also production. But I mean, you respect it from, you know, I think more places than I think other comedy producers might.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, but you are also, as you're hosting these shows, like you're very in tune and very connected with the audience, and you have that same thing of just like, okay, well, we're all on this wave together, and we're just gonna ride it
right.
and go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even though your style is different from mine, but I was gonna ask originally as a fellow recovering musician. Don't you think though, like those two disciplines are connected?
Being a musician and
a comedian,
yeah,
right? You have to love timing. You have to respect
Right.
timing.
Yeah, timing is there's, and I've always loved jazz, and like the comedy in a way reminds me of jazz because like it's feeling it and improvising and like acknowledging the situation in the room and like it's fun. I enjoy I don't know. I've done some really bad mics where like there was like one time I performed in front of like a ice cream parfait in town, and like it was just they're scooping ice cream and it's just like, you know,
Chris
the
is like,
lighting.
I can't
and,
wait to get this over with.
Is it just like wait? It was in like an ice cream parlor,
Yeah,
so it was
yeah.
like bright, well
Right,
lit,
yeah,
like
very
it's
well
like
lit
not
and-
a shadow in
Yeah.
the room.
and customers are just coming in, they don't know, and you're standing by the front door, you know, and you're like, well, come on in.
Man.
You don't mind as that.
Was there a bell on the door too? So like you're trying to be like, so recently
Yeah.
and then just like ding, ding,
Yeah.
ding, ding, ding.
It's where the milk and cookies place is. That's a long time ago over on Margarita. It was a ice cream parfait, like one of those self-serve places or whatever. And
Oh, like a frozen yogurt type joint.
yeah, and so they would just
Got
like
it.
come in and.
And they wanted comedy?
You know how like people are just like, hey, I could draw some business for you. You want me to bring in
So
some
you were the
comics,
people that
whatever?"
said that?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I wasn't hosting.
Okay.
No way. But yeah, there's been some shows where you can't even see your own hand and you're performing, or there's like a black light, and you're like, this is
What is-
hell.
Yeah.
This is hell. Like no one can even see me. And you're just talking in a dark room, and like it's so crazy. Some of these mics and. Like someone's got to do something. Anytime you say like someone's got to do something about it, you're that person. So that's how I feel. So I'm like, and then Solaris is like such a cool venue with their the lighting. You can change there's like 50 Philips Hue bulbs. You can change all of them to whatever color. And ever since they offered that spot to me, I was like, well, I want to keep upgrading the show as well. So like and it's a Monday, so like to get people to like after the weekend go out for comedy, let alone an open mic, you better be bringing some like entertainment, you know. So that's where it just started with the green screen. I used to wear the green morph suit up on the wall, and
Did you really?
yeah,
Oh
I
my
had
God.
I had that on, and We had the green backdrop, that curtain, and then and there was no computer hooked to anything, and I would perform in that, and no one could see. It was horrible. I couldn't. I would take the eye hole. And I would pull it down and drink a beer through a straw through the eye hole. I couldn't see because they have really good ices. But icy. Okay, I can't help it. It's an itch. It's
write
an
that
itch.
down.
Yeah.
Come back to that later.
Yeah. But and then it just kept evolving. But now it's getting to this thing where it's like a big. It takes me a while to set up the show, but I want it to be like a club. I want like when you go to a club. My favorite open mic I ever went to was American Comedy Company. They had the timer on the stage and they had like the coolest setup, and I was like, dude, Temecula needs something like this, and now we have Solaris. And so, side note, also you tied Taylor Tomlinson at the Shamrock Irish Pub and Eatery when I ran
all those years ago.
I ran the when I started doing the show there. I had the Survivor Series, and you and Taylor were you both tied.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was super cool.
That was a cool spot too.
Yeah, you've always been that. You're where's the applause button? Oh, it's not doing it. Anyways,
oh my gosh, you have a button?
Yeah, there's buttons. I haven't programmed. It's supposed to have an applause, but
it's a nice red light though.
Yeah, it looks nice. It's been it's applauding this entire time. It's still applauding.
It feels so good.
Yeah.
You know what? You can actually just put that in when you're editing.
I will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Everybody play it cool.
We're gonna hear like farm animals and all kinds of weird shit. I love doing editing.
But it's good to like, I don't know. You need to have like. Sorry, just to like take it back to like running like a well-produced open mic is so valuable as a comic because there are already so many obstacles to like figuring out if your stuff is good. You know what I mean? Like at an open mic, you could get up with something that you maybe have never done before, right? And depending on the night, like it could be that the material is or isn't good, just straight up, like on its own, or you could have stepped on a punchline or forgotten something in the premise or any number of things. And so when it's like, even in like a perfect like comedy club scenario, there are so many different variables that go into whether or not a joke is going to work that you go to some of these mics where, you literally can't even see the performer.
Right.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Some people
now I can't,
I feel like some producers just don't care, to be honest with you. And Chris really does put a lot of effort into everything he does. So, that's why Solaris is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's a hot spot.
For the comedy night. Yeah, thank you. So two things came up when you said that. Number one, there once was a show where, and I never did it, but it was in LA, and it was where the comic would be in a back room with a blindfold on and just a microphone, and they couldn't hear and they couldn't see, and they were in a closed room, and the audience could hear everything from that microphone, and it was a true test to see if you were actually funny, because you had to do your jokes and have no idea. You're just talking into the void, and I thought that was so cool. So that was like the only time. And then they would bring out the comic or something. Yeah. And like,
isn't this Love is Blind? Is this the show? Isn't that like the premise? Like vaguely? Gosh, but I mean, that's like a way to test the material, right? But there's so much, you know what I mean? Like you could take something like, I think how it's delivered matters. I think where you're at, like where you like send the punchline to matters. What an interesting idea though.
Yeah, I love like when I did the Survivor
Carrot Top
series.
must have ate shit in that room.
Oh, I can't. I always
what do you
wanted
do as
to
a
go.
prop comic?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
if you're just like
you're just in this room and you
do a joke and they just hear a trunk opening.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I'm opening a trunk and
it's rough, like rustling around.
Yeah, do deaf people go to Carrot Top?
Well, I mean, I'd imagine, yeah. Like, I mean, he's very, universal appeal, but
no, I meant blind. I meant blind people. Do blind people go to Carrot Top?
Okay.
That's what I meant. Oh, I'll cut that first part out. Just
No,
kidding.
you don't have to.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, let's leave that in.
Yeah. Do blind people go to Carrot Top?
I mean, I would imagine. You know,
Yeah. That'd be. It's
just like
interesting.
for the sake of like running like a premised room like that, I think it would attract like a very specific type of comedian, right? Like, so,
Yeah.
you know, somebody who like prefers more just like straight up written word or whatever. As opposed to like, you know, like a more physical type performer or something like that, or like an improviser, right?
Yeah. See, if I was in there, I would I would have just been describing how I felt the whole time. Like I would just be like doing a deep dive of like memories and like trauma, like
I was gonna say.
to counteract,
Definitely.
to counteract the situation, and people would enjoy listening to my suffering. That's
Right.
that would be the angle that I would probably take.
Like you were stuck in a well or something.
yeah, hell, yeah, somebody.
But like, I don't know, isn't that like, you know, don't you need to find like equilibrium with the audience, right? When you
Right.
get in and get set up.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is something that I'm like trying to change, that I'm trying to like work on a little bit. Because before I would like describe myself as like pretty dogmatic about what I was going to do. Like I would get on stage, like kind of like you were talking about, where I would know exactly what I was going to do and how I was going to do it. And regardless of like whatever else was happening in the room, like this is what's going to happen on stage. And you know, this time I think I'm trying to connect more with my fellow people, Chris.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Trying to open up the heart a little more, right? Make some room for like actual chemistry.
Yeah, or,
you know?
yeah, more heart.
Yeah, a little bit. Try to connect with the humans, you know? Pass myself off
That's
as one of
tough.
them.
That's
It's
tough. It's
very
hard work.
tough. But in the interest of like finding equilibrium, right? If you have like two different liquids at two different temperatures, they just meet in the middle.
Right.
So if you were just like expounding on your suffering and the audience is like hasn't had any of that yet,
Right.
yeah, you got to like even out the room a little bit,
Right.
you know, on
Yeah.
some level. So that makes sense,
That'd be fun.
you know.
Have you heard of this? There's a shock comedy. Have you heard
I
about
had
this?
this feeling you'd bring that
No.
up. Yeah.
Yeah,
What is
I
this
tried to
shock-
sign up for it. It's where they you have a like a taser necklace. What is that?
Oh my
Like a
God.
dog collar.
Like a dog
shock,
collar. It's a shock.
and they'll buzz you,
Mhm.
electrocute you whenever they
You
want.
do sign a waiver, by the way.
Yeah, you have to
I would
sign
imagine,
a
sure,
bunch of
yeah.
stuff, but it's called shock comedy. They start in Vegas and they move around. I almost got on a show here that they were going to do a show at the Mic Drop. And,
Okay,
but I wanted to give it a shot or a shock. But I wanted to try.
They would have loved that.
Yeah, I like the pressure, like of like that. Hence the green morph suit. Like when I did that, like I couldn't see anything. I felt very vulnerable. I had a
You had to
cup
wear a
on. I had to
cup,
wear a
yeah.
cup. I was naked underneath that. It was
Yeah.
just a
Oh,
cup.
sure. I
and
guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
There was
Okay.
there was
I
a-
didn't
I
think
was
about
cold.
it. Yeah.
I was very cold.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
not well insulated.
yeah,
The green screen
yeah,
suit.
yeah. The
Good thing you were
morph
wearing a
suit.
cup.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there's multiple photos I think we have with gals checking out his ass.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like the adrenaline. I've always been like
Yeah.
an adrenaline junkie. But anyways, let's move into our classic set. Our classic. Oh wait, let me go back real fast
Yeah.
because this will lead into our segment.
Okay.
You have a bit
Uh-huh.
that is a hit song in comedy, and your Superman bit.
Oh
And
yeah.
have
Yeah.
you had am I allowed to say like the premise? Can I just or no?
Sure.
Do you want me to?
Or I mean, yeah. What are you doing it? What are we
No,
doing? Oh, okay.
yeah, no. I don't know if Amy knows, but like you, Jonathan has a bit about Superman actually being black because his name is Kal-El, so it makes sense.
You told me about this.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's brilliant,
Yeah.
and like it should be spread across the planet.
Oh
like
my gosh.
this bit that you do. Have you had any feedback from anybody about this?
I mean, everybody loves it. That's the one thing I think I've carried over, like that, and maybe like one or two other lines here and there.
Yeah,
From the before times. But yeah, people still really like it, and it still lands really, really well. If I do that joke, guaranteed, like somebody will come up to me after the show and be like, "Yo, you're absolutely onto something." You know what I mean? Like,
there's been speaking of Superman being African American, black, or there was the one where he's steel.
yeah,
Right, and he had the face, but he wasn't like he never was black before he was steel because he was a clone, right? He was like remember when after Superman died?
Yeah, they had this run of like who was going to take up the mantle, right?
Right.
Now, see, I'm not like a big DC person. I don't know like a ton of this
Yeah.
lore. I just remember that time.
Yeah,
Because it was what? It was Steel.
there was Boy, like Superboy.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
He had sunglasses on or something. And,
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm not familiar with
And
like
the
the
dog.
actual in comic lore.
Yeah, and then there was a funny thing. I don't know if you know about this, but there was a black Batman, but he was the only Batman that you didn't know he was black because his mouth was covered.
His mouth was covered?
Yeah, and so there's
Oh,
like this
come
whole
on.
You see what
right.
they like to do, Chris?
Right, they didn't want, and so
see?
there's like this whole underground
Rude.
about Batman wants everybody to know he's white because then they won't shoot at him, and then that's I'm not making this up. This is
Sure.
what
But
people
his
talk
whole
about.
shit's like
So then-
bulletproof.
Right,
So
but
who
then
cares?
when Batman was black, Batman had to cover his mouth skin tone, so then people didn't know he wasn't white, and so it was like this racist kind of like underbelly of Batman,
Yeah.
and like how comic books and DC and like there's this like sort of racism underbelly to.
So do you
like,
think DC was sort of racist versus okay, this is
yeah.
an interesting topic, but
right? It's just
I just want to say this
we're
real quick.
throwing it out there.
But then there's Storm, which is not obviously
No,
not
that's
DC.
Marvel.
Right. But I don't know. I guess I'm just like
Yeah,
a little
there's-
dumbfounded.
This is the fun topic because there's the whole like when Spider-Man, it took a long time for them to finally come out with an African American Spider-Man, and then like Danny Glover or Donald Glover,
Yeah, Donald Glover. That was that
tied
big
in
push,
with that,
yeah.
and that helped with that, and there's like this huge thing, but your bit is like. It should be on the top charts of seriously, like you should do that
Trademark it,
bit.
trademark
I
it.
could see you having that bit has its own booth at Comic-Con.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like is there any Black Superman comic books?
I mean, I would assume that there's some out there. You
There's
know?
gotta-
I really
I
should
wonder.
research more. But again,
I'll put it
this
up on the
comes with,
screen
like-
if I find anything right here in this green square. I'll show
Yeah,
if I find
get
any.
some of that B-roll.
Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah. All right. So leading into because Superman does leaps and bounds, and what is it? A fly? Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's a crow. It's conspiracy.
Conspiracy, baby.
That was smooth.
That was very good. That was very, very good. I had no idea.
I planned it for
that we were, like,
weeks. I've
going
been waiting
into,
to
like,
do
another
it.
bit. That felt like a very natural,
Yeah.
like how Chris is all the time.
Right.
Is it like this most of the time?
Yeah. All the time.
Just all the
Yeah.
time.
Freaking kidding me?
Yeah,
Like I feel like I'm insane.
Sure.
Yeah, we're a great couple. She helps me. She's my John Fraser.
Sure.
Yeah, she's my.
Meanwhile, I should be now in a white room
yeah, with pillows.
with pillows.
Yeah, we have lots of pillows on a bed. Yeah, we have tons of pillows. So we sort of have that. Anyways, conspiracy segment. John, have you ever heard of the conspiracy about birds aren't real? Have you ever heard about that?
I've heard of this. Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah, birds aren't real. If you guys don't know, there was a whole movement where a gentleman named Peter created a conspiracy about birds not being real and that they're that the government back in the 60s all the way to like 2012, I think it is, they killed all the birds in America and then brought out surveillance clone birds. They're like robot birds or whatever, and they're surveilling, and it was all satirical. But I'm thinking, what if that it wasn't satirical, but they put it as satirical to like it's a psyop. Yeah.
Oh, just like throw us off the trail.
Yeah,
a little bit.
yeah. Because have you ever listened to like a rave? I watch a lot of crow videos, and some of the ravens will talk, and they sound robotic. And there's some birds in the jungle that sound like lasers. And have you seen those? Like
No.
yeah,
No, I'm not
full on
familiar
laser
with-
sounds. And
Yeah.
very electronic and it's very creepy. And I was like, you know what? I think he's telling the truth, and he's trying
Wouldn't
to.
that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice if like the birds weren't real? You know what I mean? Like if that conspiracy was true and we just found out, like, I just feel like that would be such a fun thing to debunk. Because like how,
Just
I
to
mean, well, it's
debunk
just,
it.
it's pointless right now, right? Like why, it's like the most elaborate, nonsensical way to surveil
people.
a group of people when we all already willingly divulge every piece of information about ourselves that we possibly can,
Yeah.
like apropos of nothing.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
that's-
the idea that
fair.
like, oh yeah, no, sorry, like Flint, Michigan, you don't have clean drinking water because we spent trillions of dollars
Yeah.
developing
yes,
and keeping quiet
yes.
this like nationwide thing of birds, and we thought you all would buy it. Soup, sorry.
Yeah, but look what happened. Okay. So, yeah, when I first heard this, I was like, this is just fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But learning so much now and how things are turning and twisting now, and knowing how much shit has been kept from public now, like, I fucking have no doubt. Not all of them,
Just some.
but yeah.
like
Our
what?
technology is way behind compared to what they have. And they, I mean, like, you know, military, NASA, their technology is probably far surpassed all this technology here. So, I mean, in saying that, I have to say, like, I wouldn't put it past them.
Mhm.
I don't necessarily believe that all birds are, you know, unreal. I think that's kind of silly, but yeah, they're gonna fucking,
You
they'll
gotta
do
draw the line
anything for our information. That's how they make money. That's how billionaires make money.
But like we're already, well, I mean, A, we're already giving that stuff away for free.
Truth.
And B, I mean, this is also like less than, God, like when was this Signal disaster?
Signal?
When they were texting the war plans, or they were using
Oh.
Signal to message war plans, and they included the
This
editor in
was
chief of the
a
Atlantic.
week ago.
A week?
Not even a week ago.
So not even a week out.
Yeah.
So
we already knew.
Yeah, where it's like,
Yeah.
So like that's the thing about these sorts of like government conspiracies is that they all depend on the people in government being smart enough to be able to carry this sort of stuff off.
Yeah.
But
And
it's not going to be the people in
it's,
government.
it's not.
Right.
I mean, I just don't think people in general. I don't think we're that bright. And I don't think we're that bright, and we're not wired to like keep that kind of secret. You know what I mean?
With things that are, yeah, I mean, we're straight up going into idiocracy. This is like getting closer and closer, and it's getting scarier and scarier, and it's
Sure.
making me very nauseous.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you like? You have to orient yourself in this room. They say like if you feel nauseous, you like what are the figure skaters? They pick a point out there in the middle and then just
Yeah.
look at it. But,
When you twirl,
Mhm.
it's always a point. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. Yeah. Birds. Yeah. I don't. It's funny. Like, I love seeing videos where the birds, people are picking up a turkey and they like pet it, and the turkey looks up and he's so
And
caring.
they
and, like,
they
they're
start
so-
purring.
Yeah. Or like
Cows purr too.
I put out a TikTok of me fingering a fish.
I'm sorry.
This
haven't seen
weekend.
that?
One
You
more
haven't
time.
seen it? Yeah. There's we were at the Westfield Mall, and there's a koi fish pond, and I saw first I saw a little girl do it. I was like, you got to be kidding me. There's no way. And this fish like goes. This little girl put her finger in the water, and this big koi fish went up and like just started sucking on her finger. And then I was like, what? So like I went, and that koi fish came over to me.
Yeah.
And I just and I have it on video, and the koi fish like just started sucking on my finger.
Chris, when you say there's a video of you fingering a fish, You know what you're doing. You know what you're saying.
I
You know what I want to see, damn it.
okay. Yeah.
It's like
You know what
Tom
I mean?
Cruise porno.
Yeah. It's
Yeah. Okay, so you were petting a fish.
No, it was in his mouth and he was sucking on my finger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like literally. Like, and then.
Did you put money in the pond after?
I should have. Yeah, I should have. Bing! Right off his
Leave it on
forehead.
like the little fish
I did
dresser.
pet his forehead. Or her, their forehead.
I'm not sure that's relevant. I'm not sure the gender of the fish is like the important part of what's happening.
On video, you see the fish got pissed.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Are you kidding?
No,
What do you think?
serious?
Play that out from the other, like from the fish's perspective at like 5 o'clock, dude. All this shit is wrapping up. You know what I mean? Fish
Yeah.
goes home to its fish spouse,
Yeah.
and the fish spouse is like, "Oh, you know, how's work?" You wouldn't believe this shit. You know, like, everything was fine. Everything was fine. You know, I was getting pets, and then this fucking ass, this fucking jerk, this fucking guy just stuck his finger in my mouth, Diane. And he just kept it there. And like, I'm sure there's a poster of you somewhere in the fish community is what I'm saying.
Don't trust this
Diane-
man.
That's why you're wearing the mask, is so you're unidentifiable at this fucking mall.
Diane slaps her paddles down or fins on the dinner table. Frank, that is bullshit. I know what you did. Like I said, the man at the kiosk sent the video to me. Like I saw you were sucking on a girl's finger and then you went over to that guy. Yeah.
Something you want to tell me about?
Yeah. But yeah, what I was saying is the fish
Yeah.
got mad.
Justifiably mad, yeah.
When I had put my finger in
When
its
you put
mouth,
the finger in the fish's mouth, the fish,
fish was like
surprising no one.
fish. This is totally true.
Yeah.
The fish like was sucking on my finger and it was like, I don't like this. and I was like, ow! Like it like got my finger a little bit, but there was no teeth. It was just like all gum, and then we posted it as like, because there's that whole thing about. Have you heard about Tom Cruise and fish fucking? Like, have you seen?
No,
this?
what is this thing now?
This
So
is
like
good juice.
this is on TikTok. So
Okay.
apparently there's a story out around the world where people
Around the world. I will emphasize.
fish market owners are claiming that Tom Cruise will show up like when they're doing like Mission Impossible recordings. They'll him and like his bouncers will come in and like he will pick out a certain type of fish. I don't know what the type of fish is, but it has to be like a longer fish, and he orders the fish and it's in paper, like, you know, in the newspaper, and he takes it into their bathroom, and then he comes out with no fish, and then he leaves, and then they go in there and they find the fish in the wastebasket, and like he's sticking his junk in. They find some Tom Cruise inside this fish.
How?
They go and they look in. That's the story.
But that's impossible.
That he would buy a fish and he would.
All of those people. This is the thing. Tom Cruise could spend the money. Tom Cruise could spend the money to set up a fake fish market, staff it with people, make sure all of those people get health care.
Because he would do
This
that.
is what you're going to do.
Just to
You're going to
fuck a fish.
sell me this fish. I'm going to come in. I'm going to get it. I'm going to hand you some money. Then I'm going to walk over there. And then I'm going to go.
Yeah.
And then that would be a job. That would be jobs for like tons of people. There's no way Tom Cruise is just showing up
At fish markets.
at whatever that famous. What is the one up in? Is it San Francisco?
Oh no! Yeah, definitely. It wasn't one of those places. It
No,
was a famous
I think one was in like Bangkok or
Yeah,
something,
there's some-
and then one was in like a grocery store.
Yeah, there was like all these. We're hearing multiple accounts of
Yeah.
this.
Tom Cruise at the Alpha Beta.
Yeah.
Dude, that was like fucking 1980.
Yeah, I just imagine Tom Cruise sliding in from Risky Business into the fish store.
Sure.
And he's just in his underwear. He's got his sunglasses on. Yeah, all the fish in the tank are like, "Ah!" like jumping out, trying to get away from Tom Cruise.
We're laughing about all this, but Tom Cruise is responsible for like 400 views on your video.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like somewhere in there, those are.
This is why I'm wearing the
him.
ski mask.
Yeah.
This is
We're
protection.
just kidding, Mr.
Yeah.
Cruz.
Yeah, we love you, Tom. Yeah. But if it's true, shoot us an email. Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, no judging,
let us
man.
know. No judgment. I just want to know. Am I on to something with my finger? Like this fish liked it though. Like,
It's Tom Cruise's email address.
yeah, Tom Cruise is probably at the Westfield Mall. He was watching. He's like mad at the fish for cheating on him with me and that little girl.
You get an email from TomCruise69
Yeah.
at gmail.com.
Jesus. Here we go.
Well,
You couldn't get the original one.
well, John, it's been a blast having you on the show.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for having me.
Is there anything you want to put out, letting people know that you're performing anywhere in particular in the next month or so, or any projects other than Comedy Fest on June 21st?
Comedy Fest, of course,
Yeah.
on June 21st. Follow me on socials, of course. I believe I'm at the John Fraser. I'm going to start streaming some more here and there on Twitch, so if you want to check that out. I'll be playing games and hanging out. Follow me over there. It's twitch.tv/the John Fraser. I've got a couple shows in the works, but they're secret shows at the moment, so I shouldn't even be saying anything. But
You got something.
I got some.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Stuff is happening.
Cool.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
This
of
was a lot of
course.
fun.
Heck
You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
I look forward to working with you many, many more times in the future, hopefully. If
Yeah.
I didn't scare you away enough in this episode. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we got to see where this goes now. I can't just show up for the one ski mask episode
Yeah.
and then dip.
You're
Yeah,
like-
this is like Chekhov's ski mask.
You're
I
like-
got to see what happens in the third act.
Yeah, in like a few episodes, or what if when you come back to the show, you're like, I've been following the show, and only my episode, you're wearing a ski.
Oh, I'm
mask.
gonna be pissed if in the next episode, like the two of you are in like business casual attire with like hair and makeup done.
Yeah,
Very professional.
Yeah, I'm gonna have notes, but no, I like what you're doing. I like seeing this thing evolve and you taking all these chances with it. It is fascinating and entertaining to watch. So I'm
thank you.
happy to be a part of
Yeah.
it. Thanks for having me.
of course. Amy, anything you want to, any social medias you want people to see?
Well, I kind of took a little break from the socials, but I'm still on the huge guys. I got my TikToks on Amy Eliz Q, and then my IG is Shades of Despair.
Yeah. And then I'm Christopher Key Tyler. Find me on everything but Snapchat. I'm not, and people don't like me too much on Reddit. I've noticed that. I'm not a Reddit. I try, but yeah, they Clash of Clans. Those guys don't like me. Like, yeah,
On that one
the
subreddit.
Clash of Clans people are not the most friendly people. Like, I'll just one time I misspelled something, and I had like 10,000 views.
Was it
on
clans
You know,
or
yeah.
Clash?
I put like
The?
instead of putting I was saying Town Hall 18, or I was in
Yeah.
I put like TW instead of TH for Town Hall.
Dude,
Oh my God.
unforgivable.
Yeah, unforgivable. They tore me a new one.
Rightly so.
Yeah, I felt like that fish.
I must.
Yeah,
Have.
I
Great.
felt like that fish.
Yeah.
And Clash of Clans is a CO or COC, which is a cock. So there you go.
Neat.
They got me. Yeah. Anyways,
Gotcha.
yeah. Comedy Krow will say goodbye. Don't forget, we put the Kaw in comedy.
Ow.
We put the Kaw in comedy. We love you, Comedy Krow, and we will see you next time. See you soon. Bye.
Hey, it's Comedy Krow here. Thanks for watching that whole episode. That was a lot of fun. Pretty weird stuff. We got more stuff for you if you click all these other links. Check them out. It's really neat. We appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Bye.